Good evening, good afternoon. This is Harry from Spurs feedback from match reaction video. Frankfurt 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Spurs do not have to play 2 extra games in February. Yes. So let's get into the game. Okay, this game was like probably the most important game we had, I think, this month. I know it was the end of the month, but in terms of lessening our workload with our players, considering we have 14 players out tonight, including 4 who were ineligible to play because of that Gallagher and Sousa, whatever, who hadn't registered. But that's besides the point. We have tons of injuries, including Van de Ven and Porro, who are the latest ones. So we really need to win this game. Let's get into the team lineup. So Vicario was, of course, in goal. But we start with the back three. And initially, when I saw the lineup, I thought it was a 4-2-3-1, but it was a back three of Paulino on the right, Romero and Danso, which I thought was quite interesting. Paulino has played, I think, only once or twice really at centre-back, and once in, I think, the Carabao Cup, Carabao Cup only in the season. He played at centre-back. And then the midfield was Gray and Sarr, quite interesting there. And the wing-backs were, of course, out of just no other options, really. Adogi, who I thought had a good game, and Spence. And the front line was Xavi, Odobert, who probably deserves a spot, and Moani, which was quite a surprising choice. All things considered, I don't know if you must have seen, right? Moani had that car accident. But like in general, Moani has not been playing well this season. So I was quite surprised he went with him instead of Solanke, because Solanke has started the past few games and I think Solanke started to make some sort of difference to the team, at least some positive difference. So let's get into the game. Well, the first half hour was basically Spurs dominating the ball and Frankfurt playing with a low block. Bear in mind, guys, Frankfurt are already out. Okay, so this game for them is kind of like a free hit, as people love saying that word. And it was all Tottenham with possession, at least in their half. And Odobert hit the post. Xavi had a few half chances, but I thought Odobert was probably again our best player, especially in the first half. I thought he did a lot. Paulino, I thought, playing at centre back, had a great game. I think that position kind of helped him because it kind of allowed him to kind of play in a bit midfield at the same time, playing with the 3, because you could argue with the players he picked, we could have played a 4-2-3-1. So I think the team selection was quite interesting in the sense that you could change the shape when you had the ball, because I think Paulino was one of the 3 centre-halves who played a lot further up, like a lot closer to Spence as well, I noticed. Adogi had a great game, I thought, at left wing back, and it's not surprising considering he was a left wing back at the Udinese. And a lot of people have been calling for us playing a back 3. And in a sense, we've seen it a few times. But tonight was like the first time I think maybe we're getting to the fact that we might be playing that, but do we have enough players and centre-backs to do that every week? I don't know. And we've got City at home next. And I thought Sarr and Gray were like, all right. There wasn't much to talk about there. But in the second half, Simmons, we didn't really get the assist, really. Paulino played the ball. The Frankfurt player, I can't remember who it was, headed it. Romero headed it across. I'm thinking about the second goal. Romero headed it across from the cross, and Moani got this like kind of scuff shot goal. And thankfully, he wasn't offside, and we went 1-0 up. And then we went for that spell where we dropped off and allowed Frankfurt into the game. Touch wood, Frankfurt didn't really have any chances, from what I can remember. And then Solanke came on late on, for Odobert, who did go down, and I don't know if he's got a knock now. It's not very good if he's got another knock, because we are short of players. And Moani went onto the right, and Solanke went to the middle. And Solanke got his goal. And like I said, there was another ball by Paulino, sorry. And then the Frankfurt player heads it. I mean, Simmons was near the Frankfurt player, which is kind of why I was surprised he went to celebrate with the rest of the players. Anyway, he didn't actually touch the ball. And then it went through and Solanke just slotted it in. And I thought it was a great finish by Solanke. And at 2-0 at that point, the game was over. But what was important tonight is that we flipping won the game, because now in February we only have 4 games instead of possible 6. And 2 legs would have been either side of the Arsenal games. So it was very important that we won, and we did the job. Now, can we translate the Champions League form into the league? That's the biggest question, because we've struggled all throughout the season. And is Frank going to stick with his 3-4-3? Where I think, whilst I don't really rate Xavi, I think that's the best he's looked really for us in a 3-4-3. And Odegaard kind of has a freedom in the 3-4-3 to kind of go wide if he wants to, or tuck inside if he wants to. And playing on the right in that formation is not like the end of the world for Odegaard, even though personally I see him as a left winger rather than a right winger. And yeah, I think he's actually kind of excelled in that position a little bit. And Xavi playing in the 3-4-3 has given him a bit more freedom to play in the pockets. I'm not saying he's been productive, because I've not really seen anything from Xavi yet to make me convince me at least that he's going to become a star. Like, he's shown something, but I'm not in the camp that got so overexcited when we signed Xavi. So 2-0, we go on to the Premier League now, and it was a big win because we've actually finished fourth in the Champions League, which is very surprising considering our league form. And we've only lost one game the whole time against. So it's actually been a good campaign in the Champions League. I mean, we did get some favourable draws, to be fair, you could argue, but we did the job and we got through, and we got into the top 8 and we finished fourth, and we will play 2 less games, which is much, much needed. And come on, you Spurs.